Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Pat the Pro series. In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at editing, an additional mechanic nested in building that allows for creativity and additional options when build fighting. While build fighting at its core already has a decent amount of depth, this added layer has really helped in pushing the skill ceiling of Fortnite beyond what a lot of people probably thought was possible upon the game's release, including the devs of the game itself.
Keep going.
Editing in Fortnite is centered around a unique grid to each building piece. Each of the 4 pieces in Fortnite all have unique building grids that determine what exactly each edit does, but they all function in the same way. Hit your edit bind, create the edit you want to make, then confirm it by hitting your edit bind again. Alternatively, if you want to reset your already edited structure back to default, simply hit your edit bind, hit your reset bind, and then confirm by hitting your edit bind again. Wall editing in Fortnite is by far the most common, but thankfully, the most straightforward. To edit walls, simply click, or click and drag if selecting multiple, squares in the 3x3 grid until your edit is complete, then hit your edit bind to confirm. For some people, it helps to think of each selected part of the 3x3 grid as the part of the wall that's going to be opened or modified. For example, selecting the center of the 3x3 grid means that the very middle is going to be the section of the wall that is opened into a window. However, by selecting the entire top row of a wall, it means that that entire top row is going to be opened up, making the wall lowered. Each edit has a unique pattern that must be correctly selected in order for the edit to be confirmed. If you fail to do this, the wall edit will turn red and prevent you from confirming it. For this reason, it is very important to learn which edits require which patterns and practice them as much as you can, as they could be the difference between you surviving or dying in a tight situation. Because of the massive number of wall edits available, we'll show off a few of the more useful edits on screen here and their respective patterns. That being said, it is important to remember that there's even more you can do than just this with wall edits. Try to hop into creative and play around and see if there's a few more that you can find if you're really interested. Floor editing in Fortnite is probably the most simplistic and easy to understand, but also one of the most useful to be able to edit quickly. So it's crucial that you focus on your speed while learning to add in floor edits to your play. Floor editing is much like wall editing. Simply select the portion of the floor you'd like to open up and then confirm your edit. However, since the grid is only a 2x2 rather than a 3x3, the number of edits available is limited. Being able to do quick half cuts as well as simple corner edits are a must in pushing your gameplay and will by far be the most useful to you, but you can also edit diagonally in 3 corner sections as well. Stair editing is probably the most confusing to learn due to how unintuitive it is, but because of the diversity of their usefulness in a large range of situations in game, it is a necessary evil to learn. Before I show off the patterns to you, there's one thing that I need to bring up about editing stairs. Unlike the other 3 edit types and their straightforward grids, stairs instead have an odd 8-part grid consisting of 4 rectangles and 4 squares. And the section of the stair that you select while editing is actually the part of the ramp that doesn't get opened up, which is the exact opposite of what we've seen at this point in time. With that out of the way, let's talk about the actual edits. While editing stairs, the 2 most useful things that you'll want to learn when first picking up the game is how to rotate your ramp's direction and how to cut your ramp in half. The former can be done by selecting one of the small rectangles in the building grid and dragging the selection across the grid to the rectangle on the other end. In order to make sure you don't get confused by this, a good way to think of this edit is as if you're drawing an arrow of sorts. The direction that the arrow is pointing is the direction that your ramp will face. After getting the hang of the basic ramp turns using this method, a nice tip that will speed up your edits is knowing that you can instead drag from the base of the direction you want to turn to one of the side rectangles rather than just the one on the opposite side to get the same result. Because these are closer in proximity than the original rectangle, it allows for smaller movements and overall less time spent editing. This is especially useful for quickly flipping ramps on opponents to get a fast shot in and catching them off guard. Next, we have half ramp edits. These can be done by selecting one of the larger corner squares and then slowly dragging down the side of the grid in the direction and side you'd like the half edit to be on. Much like ramp rotating, the arrow analogy can apply here as well, as the direction your mouse drag is the direction the half ramp will face. Because of this, it's possible to have a ramp facing one direction and then quickly flip it in the opposite direction while also cutting it into a half ramp. In addition to the 2 edits covered previously, there's 2 more edits that can be done on ramps. L-shaped ramps and 180 ramps. These can be done by extending the pattern when doing a half ramp cut, but rather than ending after dragging your mouse one direction, continue to trace around the outer portion of the grid. Stopping after 1 turn will give you an L ramp, and stopping after 2 turns will give you a 180 ramp. These can be fun as gimmicks and are good for a few trick plays, but generally don't see much use in game. Roof editing in Fortnite is similar to that of floor editing, but with a bit of a twist. Rather than selecting the section of the piece that you want to open up or remove fully, you're instead selecting the section of the piece that you want to pop up. Meaning that if you select a single corner of a pyramid and then confirm that edit, that corner is going to be the part that will then be sticking up. Because of this, and its 2x2 editing grid, pyramids are very versatile pieces, as they can be used to accomplish many things. From dodging traps, to doubling as ramps, to giving you that little bit of added protection while shooting at an enemy, roof editing can really help you push your ability to the next level. It can also let you make this thing.
Oh, what is this? I need to help this man on his quest. Perfect! This is a man that understands culture.
As of right now, there's actually a faster way to reset your edits and speed up your editing overall. Scroll wheel resets. What this does is allow you to very quickly reset your builds back to their original state without having to go through the extra inputs of opening up your edit menu, hitting your reset bind, and then confirming the edit. While using scroll wheel reset, you simply have to look at the build you'd like to reset back to default, and then scroll your mouse wheel down or up, depending. This is particularly useful when trying to sneak in a shot on an enemy outside of your box and then closing yourself off to them before they can shoot back, as well as quickly closing yourself in a split second when you can tell an enemy is approaching without the fear of flubbing the edit and taking damage. To perform scroll wheel resets, all you have to do is bind your building edit and reset building edit binds to the same key, which in this case is going to be scroll wheel. Don't worry though, as long as you use secondary binds for these and leave your primary key binds for these functions the same, you'll still be able to reset your edits manually as well. To help you guys quickly grasp the concept of editing and jump right into the game faster, I've made a creative course that you can play to try it out and see your improvement. It features both a variety of common edits that you'll use in games daily, as well as a few combinations of edits that are intentionally a bit more difficult in order to help you push yourself further. The map also features an in-game timer that you can use to track your progress as you speed up your edits. Here's the code to access the map in Creative. Try it out and let me know what you guys think. At this point, you should have quite a few tools in your kit to really have a pretty solid understanding of both the editing and building sides of Fortnite, setting you up to win many encounters and outplay your opponents regularly. However, if you're still struggling, don't worry. Everyone learns and improves at different speeds. Just keep practicing and know that you can do it. If you found this series or my edit course helpful at all, it'd mean the world to me if you considered using my supporter creator code raysfire in the item shop when buying cosmetics. Anyways, best of luck out there, and until next time, peace.